Welcome to bio class of class 10. Today we will study the chapter 6 of the science subject. The name of chapter is life process and topic is respiration. Respiration topic is fundamental topic in which we study about the formation of energy in our body. In our body means all living kinds body. So in very brief, we can define the respiration. It is a process to make energy in living beings. The making of energy means actually it is a mechanical power. Energy is a mechanical power to do different functions in living beings. Such power is provided by chemical molecules in the form of energy currency, and such energy currency is known as ATP. And the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. This energy currency is formed by the conversion of glucose into ATP within the cells of living body. There are specific organ parts in living beings to process this mechanism. Living beings has different respiratory organ system, and such organ system are as below as according to the varieties of organisms. Here your screen is displaying that amoeba has the respiratory organ which is cell membrane, bacteria within cell wall and cell membrane, yeast within cell wall and cell membrane, frog skin and lungs, earthworm moist skin and capillaries, insect spiracles of spiracles and tracheae, human beings lungs. So in very brief, mechanism of respiration in human beings is proceeded by the following processes or methods. Respiration is later now classified in a manner of process two ways: mechanical process and chemical process. Mechanical process is also called breathing, whereas chemical process is called cellular respiration. Mechanical process or breathing includes two steps. Number one, inspiration and expiration. Whereas chemical mechanism or cellular respiration includes also two processes. One is anaerobic and another is aerobic. So before detailing the mechanical process of the respiration or breathing process of the respiration, we must know about the respiratory organ structure of the human beings. As we know, lungs is the respiratory organ in human beings. So we can say lungs help to take breathing. Mainly, lungs help to take breathing. In your NCERT textbook includes some other important facts relating the inspiring, and that means how much air is inhaled in one times, means what would be the volume of air must be inhaled per minute or in one breathing time. So here we can just introduce the term, and later on you I suggest you read the term. The term is residual volume and tidal volume. Residual volume or tidal volume About residual volume or tidal volume, I will explain you in other volume of the video. Here I am discussing about the structure of human lungs. As displaying your screen, here the structure of lungs of the human being. The figure is showing that the internal structure of your chest where the lungs possess, and a tract that is linked with our nasal cavity. You have nose and two openings, and such two openings linked with a tract, respiratory tract, and such respiratory tract has following of the parts, following of the structures as shown in the figure. Look at the figure. The first structure is larynx, second tracheae, third bronchiole, four alveoli, and fifth bronchus. I think you observed well. One another term is written here, pleura, Pleura. What is pleura? Pleura is actually a protective layer of the lungs bladder. Pleura is the protective layer of the lungs. It is most important term which may be asked in your board examination. So please note it. Pleura is the protective layer. And here I must say lungs is separated by our abdomen through a muscular diaphragm structure. Muscular partition structure, that is called diaphragm. So diaphragm is only the part which separates our lungs and abdomen. So what is diaphragm? Diaphragm is muscular flap like structure which separates our abdomen and lungs. This is the fundamental structure of our lungs, and inside the lungs these are the parts: larynx, tracheae, bronchiole, alveoli, and bronchus. Before detailing about the functions or mechanism of respiration, mechanical respiration, I would say, what is alveoli? Alveoli is air sac like a structure which is attached to the bronchiole. Just imagine a bunch of grape is deepen into a air filled balloon. I repeat, imagine a bunch of grape is deepen into air filled balloon. So each and every grape you may imagine about alveoli, and that is air sac where the oxygen is stored after inhaling by us. We inhale the atmospheric air through nostril, and after filter by filter, most important gas which is oxygen molecule that is stored into the alveoli. So now let us continue the mechanism of breathing. Here two distinct processes: inspiration and expiration. Inspiration is the process through which we inhale the air and we reach the oxygen molecule into the alveoli. So the path of inspiration is here mentioning as in the form of equation, which is air, then passes to nasal cavity, then passes to larynx, then passes to trachea, then passes to bronchus, then bronchioles, and ultimately O2 is stored into the alveoli. Whereas expiration, what is expiration? Before expiration, such O2 is diffused into the blood. How is it possible? O2 is diffused into the blood by diffusion mechanism. When the concentration of the O2 is become increased into the alveoli, then it comes into the blood vessels. By which process? That is the diffusion process. And what is diffusion? Diffusion is the process of movement of air from higher concentration region to lower concentration region. So as I said, the concentration of O2 is become so increased after inspiration into the alveoli, so that is needed to travel into the blood vessels by the process of diffusion. So as a resultant, O2 is diffused into the blood vessel, where such O2 reacts with the glucose. Just remember, we take nutrition and so many nutrients come into our digestive system. Carbohydrate is one of them, and glucose is the unit of carbohydrate. So such glucose reacts with such oxygen. After inspiration, such glucose reacts with such oxygen. And after the reaction of glucose with oxygen, glucose become oxidized. And due to oxidation, glucose is decomposed into water and carbon dioxide. And such carbon dioxide travels through blood, and becoming as the higher concentration, it moves into the alveoli. O2 is used up, and after O2 is used up, and after decomposition of glucose, CO2 is formed, and such CO2 is finally comes into the alveoli by same process, diffusion process. And later on, important function expiration is needed, because CO2 is toxic gas in our body. CO2 maybe harm us, so CO2 is needed to expelled out, so there is expiration process is needed. So CO2 entered into the alveoli after diffusion, and then after comes into bronchioles, comes into later bronchus, and later comes into trachea, and through larynx comes into nasal cavity, and finally such CO2 gets out from the our respiratory tract. And this is the mechanical process. This is the mechanical process. And I congratulate you that I have finished today mechanical process or breathing mechanism of the respiration. Thank you. I will send you the next video concerning the next process of respiration, that would be chemical respiration method, which is also called cellular respiration. Till then, thank you. Bye.